got Millie from the back garden, and Millie, um, the beautiful Cocker Spaniel, has been escaping out of the garden. So Nick put some mesh, which is like a little bit of fencing up against the gate. And today I went to go and get her from the garden, and I have to remove the mesh to get her out. But then as I was walking towards the gate, I was like, what's that on the mesh? Is that a rock? Like, did she put a rock on the mesh? And it wasn't. It was a toad. It was a toad. It was amazing. A toad about as big as my hand, about. And I was like, hey. And like, we had a moment. Like, he looked at me and I looked at him. I was like, huh. And he didn't move. I'm like, dude, like, just hop along, like, scoot, scoot. Because I have such deep love for life. Like, I would never hurt any creatures. And I think toads may not be favoured in Australia, because I think they may be considered a pest, but I don't think any life form is a pest. So I thought to myself, okay, how am I going to get the dog out and not hurt the toad? And so I thought, that's okay. When I move the mesh, he'll hop off. And he didn't. So I'm moving this mesh, and he's just staying and staying. I'm like, dude, could you just like hop along? Because I don't want to squash you with the mesh. Eventually the little guy jumps off. Then he just stays there. He just stays there. And like, just hop along. Like, seriously, like, isn't that what toads do? They get out of danger. Anyway, so eventually, like, I had to move him along a little bit, with a little gently and shimming him along with a stick, and eventually, like, he hit under a rock. And I thought, wow, that's a weird encounter. But of course, it's morning, I'm focused, I'm going. And when I go and walk the dogs in the stunning wetlands that I've discovered, they are just amazing. The birds are amazing. It's by the water, and it's just such a beautiful place to go in the morning. And as I was walking, I was re-listening to Abraham Hicks talk to Wayne Dyer, and I love that that interview or discussion. I've heard it a few times, but every time I hear it, it goes in deeper and deeper. And she talks about like animal omens and animal signs in it. And I mean, nothing cotton on, but then when I came back and I walked back, I was like, wow, that's such a weird encounter. That, like, this frog, this toad, and I had a moment, and I looked it up, like, what is the significance of a toad, and it means transformation, particularly in the Korea and home front. And I was like, oh yeah, that's relevant. And so when you have these things happen, well, it's so easy just